This thing is just unreasonably adorable. It's just staring at everything. Oh dear. What are you? You're gonna keep the thing with you or you're gonna shove it in carbonite? What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Ben and today I'll be reacting to the Mandalorian Season 1 Episode 2. Now I absolutely love the start of this show. Just having this Mandalorian. We have no idea who his actual name is. He's just called the Mandalorian and just getting to see very little about him, but also getting little clues onto his past. As a character for the start of this show, we really don't know a lot. We know he's a foundling, an orphan, and a bounty hunter who just keeps working, basically. I love how intrigued it's already made me about this character with just how little we've gotten. I want to know so much more. I'm invested, just find out this guy's name. And I also love that this show doesn't actually focus on one of the Mandalorians we knew. I thought it might do that, being it's called the Mandalorian, but it's actually focusing on a Mandalorian who's an orphan who isn't really connected to the culture of Mandalore. And what we've seen, it's so important to every single person we've seen from there. Sabine, Bo-Katan, all of them. We've seen how important being connected to a clan and a house is. And now just having an orphan try and navigate through all that feels so cool to see. And then of course we have Baby Yoda. That thing is here. That is here. There's so many questions about that thing. It's there. It's got to be like Yoda and Yaddle's child. I'm not sure how that would work, but still, it's there. And I think the thing I like about it most is that this child could technically be older than the Mandalorian we're following. The kid's 50 years old and is still a baby. I'm not sure how old the Mandalorian is, but I doubt he's 50. But I'm so excited to see where this goes now, because it ended with him getting to the kid, and I don't think he even introduced himself. He just held the finger out and killed the droid. So now I guess he has to go back to the client and deal with that. I doubt he's going to give up the kid. They're both orphans. They're going to connect over this. And I just think it's going to be so fun seeing this bounty hunter look after a kid that's technically could be older than him. But yeah, as always, if you do enjoy this video, please remember to like, subscribe, as it really does help the channel to grow. And if you do enjoy my content and you want to help support the channel, I have a Patreon, the link will be in the description, of them uploading these videos and the full reaction a week in advance. If that's something you're interested in, feel free to check it out. With that said, let's just dive on in. We still don't know what planet we're on, do we? I feel like it's Tatooine, but that creature does... Is that a Tatooine creature? Okay, so the egg floats. Fun. Guess that makes it easy to transport. Oh, there's a bunch of them. I'm guessing he's going back to his ship now, but where is the thing that you rode? I've already forgotten the name of it. The pug-looking T-Rex thing. This thing is just unreasonably adorable. It's just staring at everything. Oh dear. How is a Yoda looking that cute? Shadows. What's come on? I'm assuming there's probably going to be other people after the kid, isn't there? If they sent the robot, they'll send others. Ah! Oh! Yep, Trandoshan. Okay, so another hunter. Oh, there's a bunch of them. Are these all... What? Is this like a Tatooine thing, or is this after the kid thing? Did you walk into their place, or are they like a trio of bounty hunters that just happen to work together? Going for the kid. Okay, yeah, bounty hunters. Vaporized! Wow. Okay, awesome weapon. And yeah, they have the fob. So others are looking for the kid. Because yeah, that was the thing. The droid wanted to kill it. That was its mission. Yet the Mandalorian wants to bring it in alive. So are there more people after this thing than just the creepy dude who seems to have connections to the Empire? If it is a connection with the Empire and they want it alive, would it better for it to be dead? Because then the Empire can't do whatever they want for it. Okay, and you're doing that to yourself. That is insane. Guess we get to know that you have an incredibly high pain tolerance. I gotta remember, this thing's like 50 years old. How does this species work, right? Because it's moving. Does it understand what's happening, or does it have the mind of a baby or the mind of a 50-year-old? What's it doing? Is it gonna poke you in that bit? You can just pick it up like it weighs absolutely nothing. What even was that thing trying to do? Oh, and it makes cute sounds as well. Does it keep getting out of the egg? How does it get out? Does it have the mobility? Or I don't understand the species. I'm guessing it's not a baby, but more toddler age. And locked away. Because if it can get out, it can mess with things. It's more toddler aged rather than just a helpless baby. And I looked almost curious about the wound. Because it's a Yoda species. How are you meant to learn more about it? I don't think you can. Plus it's a baby, so it's not like you can talk to the thing. Tatooine, okay, yep, are these the Jawas? Oh. Have they completely destroyed his ship? Pretty much. I'm guessing he's not familiar with Tatooine. This is probably the first time he's been here, isn't it? I doubt he should have done that, because they're just going to leg it with all the parts that you need to fix the ship. His gun is insane. They just vaporize instantly. Poof. Yep, nothing even left in the cloak. Now, if only you could take that thing out and get all your ship parts back. Do Jawas really think they can outrun anyone with this thing? I didn't do it. Still on the move. You shouldn't have shot first. He really didn't. Yeah, I mean, well, of course he can't give up. That was his only ship. That's his only way off this planet. He'll get crushed if he falls. This is very motivating. Even the ladders are teeny, aren't they, for Jawas? And yet they're just enjoying it. Oh, and they're going to crush him against the rock, aren't they? And he made it. Cool. Where's the kid gone? He was just floating. Where'd the kid go? It's being hunted and you just left it. It's falling. Who has control over the egg? What's happening with the egg? It seemed like he had control, so is he just making the kid follow him? Then what if, debris falls on the egg? Okay, yeah, you've got... This is insane. Taking on the Jawas in their own ship. Oh. You just gotta get past the little hatches. Ah! Oh, that one's dead. And they're just trying to destroy their own thing. Yep. Oh, great. And he's gone again. No! No, he's not. And one down. But what can you... Are you just gonna have to... Is he... Okay, no. What was the plan there? Was he just gonna kill them all and get his stuff back? I felt like you didn't think that far ahead. Actually, nothing this child can do is just wait for him to come to. Now what? So his ship is completely totaled, basically. That you can't. It's got some of the parts. I imagine the Jawas, they know ships. They would take the most important things first. So your ship just can't fly now. But the kid's still here, and it can't really go anywhere. So no one's found it while you were knocked out. But now you're rushing against the clock. There's going to be others that are going to come for it, and you have no way to get out. And they took all of your weapons. They destroyed this thing. This is a really cool ship as well. This ain't gonna fly. Half of it is gone. I'm wondering, does he feel defeated? Is he gonna let this get to him? Because we saw how, oh, okay, the kid's at the egg again. What is he thinking right now? Is he just giving up? How much does he care about the ship? The first episode I showed him was just a workaholic bounty hunter that does everything. I take it that he's just abandoning the ship now because it's just that sort of level-headed tunnel vision type thing. He just wants to get the kid back, so now he's just done with the ship, find a new one. Unless he's still trying to hunt down the Jawas to get the parts back. I love these shots. He is just walking in this desert. Oh, the pig man! Can he help you? Would he want to, though? I mean, I guess he wants the kid gone, or the thing, he wants the bounty hunter's gone, so that would mean getting the kid off the planet. There's frogs on Tatooine. How do they, stay alive? There's no water.
This is what was causing all the fuss. Stripped, not destroyed. The Jawas steal. They don't destroy.
Well, it's not like it can work, so what really is the difference?
They're protected by the crawling fort.
Absolutely fascinated by the frog.
Cover the parts.
You can trade.
With Jawas?
What does he have left to trade?
Take you to them. I have spoken.
You've spoken. Okay, so you've got to trade with the Jawas, but what do you have to trade?
Spit that out.
It ate a frog. Okay, Yoda eats frogs. What does Yoda eat? How does he just eat normal things? He just, that baby one just ate a live frog. I wasn't surprised it was able to capture it. What is its mind doing that? It burped and found it funny. Does it have a sense of humor? How should I be thinking of this thing? Should I be thinking of it as a human toddler where they have limited cognitive ability? Or do I think of it as an actual 50-year-old that can understand everything that's going on around it? Okay, you're friends with them. They're excited to see you, but what are they going to think when they see the Mandalorian?
They really don't like you for some reason.
They're not running, though. That's good. I love the Jawas. They're so fun.
I'm a Mandalorian. Weapons are part of my religion.
Then you are not getting your parts back.
Interesting. Religion. Have I ever heard Mandalorians speak about it as a religion?
And the blaster.
All the weapons. Are they going to steal his weapons? I'm still concerned. What does he have to trade with? What can he give them to get all of his stuff back? 'Cause obviously they're gonna sell it to him. They're not gonna give it back. They're gonna have to make him buy his own things.
They will trade all the parts for the best car.
I'm not gonna trade anything. These are my parts. They stole them from me.
That's never gonna work. He's trying. That's interesting.
You understand this?
Ah, great. They're gonna go. But nice to know that that didn't break.
Get away from it!
They want the baby. Oh dear. Okay, so they want the best guy and the child. What else could they possibly want? The egg?
The egg.
The other thing the baby was in? No, they're actually talking about an actual egg. I'm just calling the weird thing that the Yoda's in an egg. Guessing they're talking about an actual egg. It's fun to see this much of the Jawas thing. It's cool to see it just traverse Tatooine. I love the Jawas. There's just so much fun. Like just chuckling along. Okay, but they're going after an egg. Maybe just food? Is that what you want? Yeah, it's not the pod. I'm just calling that thing an egg. How far have you gone? Where's the rest of it all? Why couldn't they take you further? Yeah, it's an actual egg. You're gonna have to hunt something. They got a bounty hunter to do their bidding, do their dirty work for them. You're getting them food, essentially. But the egg of what? What on Tatooine? Tatooine's full of crazy, nasty things. And also apparently frogs now. But he's got the disintegrating bullet, so it should be fine. I'd assume the skills of bounty hunter could translate over quite well to just hunting animals too. But what would live in a cave? Bones? What on earth did the Jawas sent him after? What egg? What? Is it just food? If it's just food, why go after something that has bones in here? That seems difficult. Why not go after something easy if it's just food? Yeah, this is a nest. Whatever it is, it's awake or it's snoring. Oh, that's not the ground. Yeah. Oh, and flying out. Is that... What's sparking? Is your stuff broken? It's a rhino? An egg? Oh, your chest plate is destroyed. You should be... Maybe. No, it's a rhino. Is he gonna be fine? Is your gun jammed? Mandalorian should be fine, right? They're sturdy. With the rhino... It's not moving. Really? You're gonna attack that? What? Your flamethrower still worked, didn't it? Okay, you can move the egg. You can move the thing. Yeah, where's the egg? All you don't really need to fight this thing. You just need to get the egg, wherever that happens to be. And you also need to stand up. You're surviving that? This thing must weigh tons. Well, at least, yeah, you're moving at least. That's something. I feel like he's making this way more difficult than it needs to be. How can you deal with this? Okay, no, this thing's too fast. Is he blacking out? This thing's gonna kill you if you black out. The good thing is it means he needs new armor, so I'm hoping that my thing from the last episode, he does get to complete more of his armor with Beskar. Oh yes, this bit's absolutely destroyed. You need to stand up! Just a knife? This could be really cool. Is he just gonna use a knife? What the... Okay, you're not gonna do it? Is the kid doing? What? Okay, Yoda kid force sensitive. So it's like every Yoda... And it's a baby. What are you? And it's out. And... Is that tiny knife really gonna do anything? Really? It's a tiny knife. That thing must... What did you hit? That knife is tiny, and I don't even think it's fully in. That really killed it. Okay, but focus on the more interesting bit. The Yoda has the Force, and Oh, Mandalorian, Jedi, how caught up is he? What is the... Oh, no. He's an orphan who tries to keep up with the culture, and his culture, if it hasn't been updated, is to kill Jedi. What is he thinking of that? You good with this or not? It's just a baby. You can... I guess the foundling thing might contradict it. I think we know what's going through his mind. I don't think it's curiosity. Everyone knows about the Force, really, at this point. So... Is that the egg? A furry egg? Oh, that's nasty. But yeah, so what's his mind? Is he thinking that he wants to help the kid and keep it alive, or kill it because he wants to live up to being a Mandalorian, and their Mandalorians say they're enemies of the Jedi? Yeah, the egg has fur. Maybe they're impatient. Why don't these guys go do it? What do they expect?
I have it. I've got the egg.
I mean, if it's a food thing, why not bring back the whole rhino? I feel like that could feed them a lot longer than the egg. Is it a food thing, or do they just want the egg to sell it or something? What's so special about the egg? They're gonna break it. What are they gonna do? It's just a food thing. Really? They're not even gonna make it last. Okay, but at least you get your shit back. Seems wasteful, though.
I'm surprised you waited.
I'm surprised you took so long.
You too. So they just have high expectations. Oh, and there's all the parts. So he's got to... Oh, dear, this is going to take forever to fix it. How fast can he fix his ship? I'm assuming he can, and he knows how to.
Is it still sleeping?
Yes.
Still being gentle. Okay. So not thinking it's an enemy.
I don't think so. Not physically.
Yeah, it's just tired from mental exhaustion from using the Force.
I still don't understand what happened.
Neither do I.
Or maybe, okay, so it is just not understanding what it is yet. So maybe he doesn't consider it a Jedi because he just doesn't know what a Jedi should be.
To work without a full maintenance facility. This is gonna take days to fix.
Days is better than weeks.
Oh, it might go faster. There's much work to do.
Oh, a little team doing it together. Did the Jawas break a bunch of these parts as well? Some of these look bent. And the kid is still asleep. But is this still taking days? How long has it been? We're watching the montage. I still see no light. I feel like this is only at night. There's light. Is the kid still asleep? Sounds much better than before. Okay, that's cool. So the ship is fixed.
Please allow me to give you a portion of the reward.
I cannot accept.
He has spoken.
Guest, and I am therefore in your service.
No. I love that the Mandalorian is actually willing to give up some of the reward as well. He's not just... It's not completely controlled by money. He has an honor about him.
But I have worked a lifetime to finally be free of servitude.
Then all I can offer is my thanks.
I'm assuming that's more Tatooine stuff. They had slaves on Tatooine.
Good luck with the child. May it survive and bring you a handsome reward.
May it survive. So if there's doubt that it could just die. You're gonna keep the thing with you, or you're gonna shove it in carbonite? Staying with you. Okay, that's better. Of course, I guess it can't really be that chatty. I love that he made a friend here. Yeah, but I still have so many questions about like the whole role of Tatooine on all this. But it's cool to just see this guy. He isn't just a bounty hunter, he also seems kind of heroic in this sense, where he's freed this valley of conflict. And now his reputation will even look better than just being a bounty hunter. It will look like a hero. What is going through your mind? Of course, we can't actually see any expression on his face. So what is going through the head? Just trying to get it awake? Are you trying to check that it's alive? You see it breathing. That's enough. But is the focus on its well-being or your reward? Like, does he want to make sure it's alive so he can get paid the most? Or is he actually wanting to see that it's okay? Its face is adorable. Okay, this episode was also really good. I am enjoying the slow pace that we're getting from this. This whole episode was him trying to get back his ship and stuff. So it was created more problems and he found solutions to it. But also discovering that the Yoda has Force power. And of course he doesn't know what that is or doesn't understand it, which I think adds more to the idea that he's kind of distant from his culture. Because I think any Mandalorian would immediately recognize the Force with how long the history is and how involved it is with the Sith and the Jedi. Any Mandalorian who knows about the Mandalorian culture, they'd recognize the power of the Force immediately. And whether or not they'd attack it is to be debated at the minute, I guess. I think they have got a better relationship with Jedi now. I would assume, I imagine that wouldn't be planetary wide. You have Bo-Katan as the head of Mandalore, and she, I'm guessing, would be pretty fine with it, but I doubt it stretches to every single one of them. But this one, being an orphan, doesn't quite know, so I guess it's one of the best scenarios for this kid to be in. Mandalorian, incredible and powerful warrior, and also undecided on what to think of the Force, so not really concerned about him trying to kill the kid for being a Jedi. This also means his whatever clan or whatever must be distant from Death Watch and Mandalore society as a whole, since he didn't know what it is. They all know what it is. But this also sets up that there's other people looking for the kid. You had the main client and the nerdy dude that was by him. They wanted it alive, but the other one was kind of more okay with it dying, but he didn't want it dead. The droid, however, wanted it dead. That was how it was why it needed to be dead for it to be paid. So there's something else out there that wants the kid using the same tracking forbes, and they want it dead. Now, from what I'm picking up on, the client that the Mandalorian is going with seems to have connections to the Empire. The logo on the necklace around his neck had the Imperial logo. It would be bad for the kid to be back to them. So I think in either case, alive or dead, it wouldn't be good to get back to him. But if there's someone against that and wants the kid dead to go somewhere else, would that be better than the Empire getting hold of this now that we know that it's also Force sensitive and a Yoda thing? And it's, what on earth would the Empire want with a Yoda? Like a Yoda. I'm just going to call the species a Yoda because we don't know the name of it. It's a Yoda. What would the Empire want with a Yoda that happens to be also Force sensitive? And there's a lot of questions surrounding this, and like also the species. Like, does the kid behave like a toddler? It seems to behave like a toddler, but does it have any greater awareness of what's going on around it? Like a toddler can understand a lot, but it can't understand everything that's going on around it. What is this kid? I mean, it has 50 years of life, so I'd assume it's picked up some kind of experience and some mental capacity, but it's still, I guess his body might not be caught up to its brain. Is that something? But I guess would be the same case with Yoda, being that his body was older, yet his brain had 900 years of experience. So the mental faculties of this species seem to outweigh their physical form due to just how long these things live, and I guess just their growth cycle. With everything else around them being a much, I guess, faster expiry date, everything grows up and moves faster. So these creatures, whatever the Yoda species is, has to accommodate with that if they want to live in this society. So this kid must have picked up more, has 50 years of experience in a world that lives faster than it does, so it must have greater awareness than just a toddler if it was a different species. That also makes me question the whole going towards the wound. It wanted to do something to the wound, and if it has the Force, maybe it's trying to do something there. Seeing it does remind me of what I heard a while ago, something about Force healing exists. I'm sure I've been told about that in the comments somewhere. Is that what it's trying to do? What else could it want if it's waving its hand that it uses the Force with at an open wound? Makes me think it's that. So looking at the Mandalorian himself then, so just seeing, it's just really good that we don't see his face and just how good it still is. We have no expressions, no emotions that we can gauge from him. We just hear his voice and we see the helmet. That's it. You can't connect with the character visually, but you can through his actions. I love the scene where he's trying to take down the Jawas. Of course, it was going to end in failure because they're just a little army in themselves. But he put up a pretty good fight, so I love seeing the competency, but we're also seeing the limits to that competency. He is not unstoppable. He's not an incredible, capable Mandalorian, unstoppable war machine. He can be defeated by Jawas in a tank. But it's nice that he will just go for the challenge. He won't back down to it. He won't just give up that his ship has been stripped and nearly destroyed and incapable of flying. He will still go for it. I also love the relationship that he's made with the pigman and just how that's a far friendlier idea of, I guess, bounty hunters. Because from what we've seen a lot of different bounty hunters. Some have been good, some have been very, shady. Cad Bane comes to mind, but at least he had an honor system. This guy, his reputation is becoming more that of a do-gooder. Maybe a hero, maybe not. He restored peace to this valley. That's basically just by doing his job. It wasn't something he set out to do. He just did it because that happened to be a result. It was collateral damage, essentially. It's the effect of him just doing the commission that he was given. But it's still a positive thing for him and his reputation, because it definitely sets him apart from others like Cad Bane. They're definitely not seen as do-gooders or heroes. Then, of course, with the last act, we had the woolly rhino thing, where that was kind of a struggle. That was not great for him to deal with. That he would have died with that. He had a knife. I'm still the little thing bugs me is that the knife killed it. That knife would have never killed that thing. How thick would the hide have to be for that? I'm going to put it down to alien biology in that this thing is just somehow incredibly weak and its major arteries or organs are very close to the surface. even though it's inspired by a rhino whose hide would be very thick. But somehow this small knife was able to penetrate something that managed to kill it basically instantly, and also not bleed out. I'll put that down to alien biology and the magic of Star Wars. Yeah, and then the Jawas only wanted the egg. They're fun. They're just crazy and nuts, and of course, very wasteful. They did, I would imagine the Jawas want every part of it. They'd want the egg, and they probably want the corpse of the animal. I feel like that thing would have fed them for a lot longer than it seems like the egg is going to do. Yeah, I think it's just fun seeing more of Jawa society and just their little culture as well, getting built up on that. They're not just little things that go around stealing ship parts. They also love having these woolly rhino eggs, and they're willing to trade for that. So we get to see it like a sort of value system in place. It's not just bartering with parts that they steal. There's also other things they value that they would give up a lot of the stuff for. It makes them look more like actual people rather than just little evil deviants. They're not just going around stealing ships to sell it back or other parts. They're not just little gremlins that go around taking ships. They actually have a society that values other things. But yeah, then the Yoda uses the Force. So is that a thing for all Yoda species? I would assume it's kind of a thing for all Yoda. From what we've seen, there's only 3 of them, so I guess it's a thing for all Yoda species to be able to use the Force. But what does that mean power-wise? Probably a lot, because this thing's a kid, but then the Force is weird. Yes, it's a baby, but we've seen younglings do this similar thing. It's not that difficult to do, just levitate an animal, I guess. So but then it was closing its eyes. It has some Force ability. So does that make it a youngling? It's 50 though. I doubt it's going to be jumping around and wielding a lightsaber, so that's something. It's got to be a youngling in terms of just its species age, but then 50 years old. How Empire's like 30 something. So could this thing have been in the Jedi Temple and like the Coruscant and the Order and all of that time? But then why did we never see it? Where's this thing been? Now the Empire wants it. So obviously it had a presence, but it's 50 years old and it's Force sensitive. It's a Yoda thing. Yeah, there's a lot of things and I'm waiting to find those out. To begin, this episode was very nice. I love what it does for the Mandalorian because you're getting to see him more, I guess, without any expressions on his face, yet you're still able to connect with him through his actions. Plus, of course, you got the other reveals with the baby Yoda. You got the development with the Pigman. This was just a nice, well-rounded episode to continue what the start of this show does. It's continuing to set up the mystery while keeping a nice, slow pace, just to get to know everything that's going on while dealing with the main character that you just cannot see their expressions or face whatsoever. Yeah, then looking at the Mandalorian himself, we learn a bit about him in this episode, basically just through his actions again, and just seeing that first he takes on the Jawas after the ship sort of falls apart, which is cool just to see that he will not back down from a challenge. He'll go after a tank filled with Jawas to get his ship back. And the odds obviously stacked against him there, but I just love that he didn't back down to the challenge and he just went for it. He knew that was his only option and just did it. Of course he fails, but he still finds a way to get it all back. And at the end of this, he also got a good reputation from it. Of course, it wasn't intended to do that, and I don't know if he cares, but it's just nice to get that sort of thing to stand him out from other bounty hunters that we know, like Cad Bane, where he just gets a positive idea surrounding him rather than a negative one. We also get to see more stuff going on with his armor, which I hope this is setting up something, because of course we've got the helmet, which was talked about how he never takes it off. Seems to be the case since he just hasn't taken it off. He got a new shoulder pad with the Beskar he got from in the first episode, but now his chest plate seems kaput. That thing looks broken, so that I'm assuming will have to get repaired, and I'm hoping that we get to see a story get told through the development of what he wears. The helmet seems incredibly important in just the, I guess, religious or cultural implications it has, and then the actual physical appearance of his armor I'm hoping does change throughout the show, which could just show off a nice progression of his character. Yeah, then he did say something interesting about how weapons are part of his religion in Mandalore, or Mandalorian religion itself. I don't know if that, because that's the interesting bit. There's clearly building on Mandalore as a culture, but I guess also maybe as religion, unless it's a misunderstanding. Because again, he is an orphan. We don't know how well he is connected to Mandalore culture as a whole, like the actual planet Mandalore and Bo-Katan, Sabine, all of that. So it could be that he misunderstands Mandalorian society in that they are just a warrior people, and then that conflates with the idea of having weapons as part of his religion. Because I'm sure they've never mentioned it as part of a religion before. So I love what this is setting up, and I hope that this is explored more. What else is involved in this belief system that he has when he does seem to be lacking information on Mandalore? Then of course we have the baby Yoda, where we get some development on this thing where it can use the Force. So this is the episode structure. They've done 2 reveals at the end of each episode. Don't know if that will continue, but first we obviously got baby Yoda. Now we know that he used the Force. So maybe in the 3rd episode they'll reveal something else about him. Not sure yet. But so that is every Yoda species we've seen has the Force. I don't know whether or not to gauge this as being powerful or not. I feel at 50 years old, if anything, this kind of feels weak. He's 50 and he can barely just float a rhino, yet although he is a baby and he's able to float a rhino. So it's that sort of contradiction in my head. So it's kind of fun to theorize what this could mean. Is it age or growth of a species that determines their force ability? Because technically, if this child had the same length of training as maybe Ahsoka, would it be on the same level at this age and like this stage of growth compared to her? There's just a lot we can't tell from its actions because of how little we know about the species, how confusing the species is from the very little we know, and then the force ability. So I love that this is just setting up more stuff, but it's also adding to what the Empire could want from it, or what this Empire adjacent people might want from it. Or we know that it's a Yoda species, it can use the Force, and it grows slowly. That's basically it. But I just love how like slow this mystery is and how we're being drop-fed little bits of information. Then the Pigman. Don't know his name, don't know if it was said, because I guess they never exchanged names because the Mandalorian didn't give his name. But I like that we got a good relationship going with him. Because again, that adds to the reputation of a Mandalorian and the bounty hunter. Because that is the premise of this show. We are watching a bounty hunter who happens to be a Mandalorian, who's learning about, I guess, Mandalorian stuff along the way. But I like that from the start, we're getting to see that he's not like Cad Bane. We're not getting to see that kind of bounty hunter who just in it for the money and kind of does bad things with it that he doesn't necessarily have to do. Cad Bane will commit all kinds of atrocities to get what he wants and what he's after to get his money. This guy seems to be happy to do good and not do overly evil things to get it. Of course, he wanted to take on the Jawas, disintegrated a few of them, so he's obviously not morally upright. He's fine to destroy the people that stole from him to complete his mission. That's very in line with Bounty Hunter, but we're also getting to see some kind of goodness on him where he may not have wanted it, but he's not denying it. He restored peace to this valley, and he seems to be happy to take the credit for it. And that is what the Pigman does here. He adds that positivity to this guy, rather than just having a negative bounty hunter that we're following that it happens to be just a criminal aligned bounty hunter. Then the Jawas, I love their presence here. They're so fun, and I think I just love whenever they come back. To me, they confirm that this is Tatooine, which adds a bunch of other interesting questions going on, like why is Baby Yoda on Tatooine? And then we also get a fun scene with them taking on the Mandalorian. It's cool to see them hold their own against them. So we get to know like a power scale there, where when they're in their tank, they're kind of impossible to defeat, unless you have like a ship that can destroy them. But one-on-one, one against the tank, you're not going to win. Plus, you also get to see a bit more structure to their society. They're not just little things that go around stealing ships and selling them off back to the owners. They also have a value system where they value the woolly rhino egg. They have some kind of culture going on in there. They're not just this plot device or this thing that's on Tatooine. They are an actual people. So I like that So I think I just like what this adds to them. It makes them feel like an actual real thing on Tatooine rather than just the things that stole C-3PO and R2. Not just the things that scrap ships and sell it back. They are more than this. They are an actual people. Then the pace. I think that's a big thing for this show. It's definitely starting slow. Don't know if it's going to get faster, but I am enjoying it. And I think it's mainly because we can't see the face of the main character. That's a big thing. And when you see the face of the main character, it's far easier to connect with them emotionally, seeing their expressions, and just to get invested in their story and in their struggles. For this guy, you can't see it. And I think it's really good on the show's part to take it slow, because then you get to see every single action that this guy is doing, and that is where you get the connection from. You get to hear his voice, you get to hear some emotion through that, but of course you can't see his face being very expressive. So I think it's doing a great job at connecting you to the character without actually seeing the face, just through the actions kind of alone. The voice does help, but the actions is what's selling it for me. Okay, then I guess story-wise, this is setting up a lot of questions for me. Like, why Tatooine of all places? And obviously, I think the story is revolving around Baby Yoda. That's the thing. That is what the Mandalorian is pivoting around. That's what's deciding his decisions for him. That's what everything is centered on. So now we've got to think, why is this thing on Tatooine? Why is it here? Why Tatooine of all places? This is where Anakin was born, this is where Luke was sent and grew up. So why on earth did this other child, who's Force sensitive, get sent here and happens to be 50 years old? Other than that, when was he sent here? Then we also have to ask, how do people know about him? How long have people been hunting him? Seems like a while. The Valley has not known peace, and it sets up so many questions just from this child's past. Then looking at the future, we get to see a whole nother set of questions. What do the Empire want with him? What can the Empire do with him? Like, who even is he as a character? Right now, he is just the plot. What is this? We got to see him eat a frog, which I guess is something that adds some levity to it. Like, technically, I don't even know if it's a boy or a girl at the point this minute. It's just it. It's just a thing there. I want characterization for it. Of course, it's adorable and has a lot going for it, but like, how do we understand this as a character? I think that's also another thing that's got me invested in this now. There's so much surrounding this thing, and I'm hoping it doesn't just stay the plot. I'm hoping that it can sort of develop into something else. I think as a whole, it just really adds to my enjoyment of the show so far, just getting to ask these questions and not be anywhere near close to what an answer could be with this thing because of how little information you have, how little is known about the species as a whole, and it just wants to make you keep watching, even though I doubt we'll get an answer because that's how weird the Yoda species is. I kind of hope we don't get a full answer to this thing. I'm kind of just happy that it exists, and it makes me so excited to see where this can possibly go, while hopefully balancing the line between answering questions and just not over-explaining, because I don't want to know everything about the Yoda species. I like the mystery behind it all, and it just makes me so interested to see how and what they're going to do. Yeah, as for what's next, the ship is done. He's heading back with his cargo. It'll be interesting to see whether or not he'll get intercepted on the way back, because that's what I'm getting from this episode. They like the slow pace, so I don't know if he's going to make it back immediately, because I almost assumed that could be what would happen in this episode that we just watched. He got the child at the end. He could have just gone straight back and just dealt with it. But no, they put something in the middle to show the difficulty of getting it back. They could do something while he's flying. It could be cool to see aerial combat with this guy and just how that develops him. But yeah, obviously the next stage of this story is getting the kid back to the client. Now everything revolves on what actually happens when that does happen. I doubt the Mandalorian will just give up the kid, because now he's got interest in it with the Force, plus they're both foundlings. I imagine it's going to revolve around him finding out what they want him for. They clearly want him alive, so he could be seeing it as him rescuing the kid. Other people want him dead, but this group that he's been hired by wants him alive. So there's sort of a better outcome there. He probably doesn't want to raise the kid. He's not attached at the minute. He's more attached to the Beskar that he'll get at the end of this. But it'll be cool to see what happens in the next episode and whether or not that can grow their relationship and make him want to keep the kid, if that's an option. Or if we'll get some clues onto what the client wants to do with him, and if that will object to the Mandalorian's morality. Will he be okay letting the kid go with whatever they're going to do with him? I think that will give us a much clearer idea onto who the Mandalorian is, aside from just his actions. What is his morality like? What kind of honor system does he have? We see bits of it, but we're not getting a good idea. We're not getting a brilliant idea of it. What happens next could give us a much bigger picture. But overall, I really enjoyed this episode. It's a great continuation of the first episode, just building up the plot and the main characters that we have, and just getting a good feel for them. The Yoda, fun. Still hope that we get more on them and just flesh them out into a full-on character and not just sort of this plot device that we have, because that is the plot. We don't know anything about this thing. Its purpose is to raise questions and to drive the story. That's what it is at the minute. I'm hoping to get more on him and for him to become its own thing. But the main guy, he's great. I love that this is given so much time to just get to learn who he is through his actions basically alone. We get to hear some words and some things about him, but it's mainly through his actions that you actually want to follow this character, not through what they say. And I think it just does a great job of making me want to continue this show. I feel like this is an incredible start, and I cannot wait to see where it does end up, because the premise is just so fun in general. Watching an orphan Mandalorian deal with sort of how everyone else views his culture and religion, and just how he fits into it all, while also balancing with the larger mystery of this Yoda Jedi youngling thing, and how that relates to, I guess, remnants of the Empire. But yeah, with that said, that does bring me to the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about this episode in the comments, and with that, I will see you in the next one for Season 1, Episode 3. See ya!